Hey everybody, and welcome back to part 4 of our Lords and Villains playthrough. I really hope at this point that like anybody is watching these. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes here if you're watching. I'm recording this on December 16th, 2023. This video is probably going to be released on like December 20th, 2023. But this is part 4, and as of right now, only part 1 is publicly available on YouTube. The other two I have scheduled for the 18th and 19th, but they're already like made, right? But the first one came out like an hour and a half ago, I guess 2 hours ago, something like that. So I truly do not know if anybody is going to watch these. And here I am still making a part 4. Why? I don't know. Because I just kind of wanted to try my hand at this to see how it goes. But if anybody's listening to this part 4 and you actually watch through parts 1, 2, and 3, please hit me up in the comments and tell me how much you either hate or love my stupid voice. But you've been listening to it for a while, so I'm going to guess that you can't hate it too much. Anyway, with that out of the way, also one more warning. Like I said, I've never done any of this like YouTubing stuff before, so I don't have like a noise gate or an EQ on this microphone. So if you hear me like sipping, it's because I have a cup of coffee. I listened back to most of the other 3 recordings and I could hear myself like sniffling and stuff. And like every time it happens, I'm like, man, I wish I had the motivation to like go into a video editor and like cut out all those sounds, but I don't. So we're just So I'm very sorry about that. But anyway, I am assuming that the sound of me sipping coffee, once it cools off enough, is probably going to be present in the recording. I'm going to try to be as quiet about it as possible, but we're just going to have to see how it goes. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the game. So in episode 1, we were able to get our first 3 households, our farmers, our foragers, and our fishers set up. In episode 2, we started getting our Demesne area built, our ruling family over here, and sort of some of the public areas over here. Still, our laborers have not taken care of these trash piles over here, and that is really making me upset. It looks like some of them they're definitely slowly cleaning them up little by little, so hopefully they're working on it. We'll see. Also, I think by the end of episode 2, we had our inn set up. We've so far assigned our foraging family, the St. Ovens, to run the inn. That's going to change eventually, but for right now, especially since we have 2 foraging families, I think they can continue to spare the folks to run the inn. And by the end of episode 2, we had also just started getting these 2 farming families right here set up and running. In episode 3, we also acquired a fishing family, and finally, luckily for us, we got our carpenters. Now, our carpenters are still getting, actually, they're looking pretty good up here. They got their beds, they got their builders' desks and their storefront set up. So they're actually looking pretty good and set up. It looks like they haven't got around to these build orders over here yet, but that's broadly fine because it looks like they're still working on their own stuff over here. But the carpenters are going to allow us to start increasing the efficacy of our walls. The walls are going to keep out the cold a little more effectively, and they're also going to provide higher beauty values. So let's just go ahead and take a look here real quick. You could see that if we I wish that you could move this, but like you could see that like in the corner over here, like the beauty value is basically white where my Demesne people live, and pretty much everywhere else. If you look up here where the carpenters live, you could see it starting to veer into the blue area, right? Into like this sort of blue hue because they're building themselves like everything. So like, they're building themselves instead of straw beds. They are building themselves wooden beds, which have a 1-star average beauty score, as opposed to straw beds, which have a neutral beauty score. They're building themselves cabinets, which have a 2-star pretty beauty score, instead of the regular drawers, which have a 1-star average beauty score. And the reason that they're building themselves this better stuff is because this better stuff, like the cabinet, you can see here, it says wooden cabinet to store clothes, armor, and other equipment, requires carpenter. So until we had them, we couldn't build this prettier stuff. But now that they're here, we could start demolishing some, and I'm gonna let it happen pretty slowly, but start demolishing some features here and there, and letting the letting the carpenters come in and replace it with prettier versions of those things, so that especially our Demesne family can maybe hopefully stop being tired of living in ugly conditions. Here we go. They're disgusted. Beauty. They're disgusted because of beauty. Now we can see. Let's take a look at this here real quick. So these guys are. Day guards are demanding more pay. So let's go ahead and up their salary here. So you can see here the day guards, they're currently getting paid 1 silver per season. Let's go ahead and up that to 5. Let's go ahead and quintuple their income, and maybe they'll stop complaining for a while. You could see here people are freezing. The foragers, they should be fine because we have fires burning everywhere. They're just going to complain about it all winter. And you can even see if we go to the temperature screen here, everything is cold now except for like these areas just around like the fire pits. In my template for a lot of these houses, I have included standing candles, and you could see I put those next to the beds because they just provide just a little bit of heat to the villains while they're sleeping. I don't know. I feel like I mean, I like to be pretty cold when I sleep, but I don't like to be freezing or anything like that, So I felt like it was nice, and you could see like in all the I just sort of included it in the template, so I don't really have to like place it every time or think about it. But it's totally there. You could even see here, like here's the house that really hasn't been built yet, but there are the standing candles build orders ready to go. And you would think that you'd run out of wax, but because each standing candle requires like 1 wax, and I'm building 3 per house. But I still have 16 left, and honestly, I'm not even selling it on the local market, and somehow the villains are getting it on their own, so I'm assuming that they're probably just buying it from the caravans. Look at that, still trying to sell that sheep, huh? Anyway, yeah, whatever. So things actually look like they're going pretty smoothly. We're going to go ahead and decline the smelter because we just don't have the miners set up to support them yet. I really do want to get like a mining production chain going down in this area over here. We just need a miner to show up. And again, we're ignoring these inaccessible structure notifications because they're all wooden bridges and they will get built eventually. It's just because they're out of order. Like if we look at this, it's like he's complaining that he can't reach this thing right here, and like sure he can't, but like once they build these, and like look at this is priority 20. It's not even as high priority as like this one, so I don't know why they're complaining about it. It doesn't matter. The rope makers, we really do want rope makers, but again, they're useless to us until we get a tailor. I'm really hoping this episode that we can get ourselves a tailor. Actually, by the time we get through winter over here, we should get more favor points. And if we don't have a tailor by then, I think we're going to use our favor points to request one. To request a tailoring family, rather. And we should keep an eye on, look at this, it's going to refresh here pretty soon. We should keep an eye on this, because if we can find ourselves a cheap tailor, it doesn't look like any of these families are coming below 49 favor points in price, but if we get lucky and we find ourselves a cheap tailor, it would be swell as heck to get our hands on a tailoring family, because they're really going to open up, I explained it in the last video, but they're going to open up a whole lot of production chain potential for us. And there's a lot of stuff that we just really can't think about getting into without them sort of sitting at the bottom of a production chain for us. So we're going to go ahead and cross our fingers and hope that a tailor is going to show up. And if not, as soon as we get favor points, we're probably going to go ahead and request one of them ASAP. Once we get the tailor, and right now I'm just going to let this run, because winter I find is basically just like hoping that I already gave them more pay. It's really just hoping that nothing pops up. Like you can see here, like somebody has the flu, somebody has the measles. We can't really do anything about that until we get a clergy set up, because the clergy will give us access to like the hospitals where healers can mend wounds, and the apothecaries where we can produce you can see on the right side, the right column under there, produces dandelions, echinacea, and all the way at the bottom, cures, and salves and bandages, which the hospital will use to you can see consume salve, bandages, and cures, which the hospital will use to help sick villagers. But getting the clergy set up. Oh, actually, now that we have a carpenter. We should get started on the clergy. So let's go ahead and give them. Let's go ahead and give the clergy. We're gonna. I tend to kind of stick the clergy. I don't know why I do this. But I tend to kind of stick them like kind of away from the rest of society because they do kind of like do their own thing. I think I've seen them like go into the inn. But so what we're gonna do is we're going to. We're going to leave this household just by itself like that for now, because if nobody owns it, then my royal family will be responsible for like taking care of getting it built, which means they're going to pay. Yeah, see, and you can see that the build orders just went in when it turned dark blue. They're going to pay the carpenters to take care of building all this stuff, and I would rather basically donate a pre-built house to the clergy once we start getting it up and running, then start getting a clergy ready and then having to like give them money so they could pay it. It's just easier if I just have my own people do it. So we're gonna kind of wait till this house starts getting built, and then we're gonna switch it over to the clergy, and we'll get there when we get there. Now we do have villagers fighting over here, and that's bad. We actually had somebody die in a fight. One of our rain courts. Oh no, that's one of our founding family members too. That's pretty sad. All right, the rain courts are over here. But either way, it is pretty sad to see one of them go. Look at that. They're down to only 6 people. That really is a shame. Well, actually, speaking of the clergy, one thing that we can do is build ourselves a graveyard. And do we want to put the graveyard here? Yeah, we'll put the graveyard there. We'll stick a grave in there. Let's actually get. So the corpse will the corpse of a body will sit there for like I don't know, like basically a full season. Let's see, where is it? Oh, they're like in the walls here too. Look at that. I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but if we can get our clergy set up quickly enough, they might come and drag that body over to the graveyard. Actually, I think the other thing you can do is you could just give a family. You could give family access to a gravesite, and they will put their own family members in it. Yeah, there you go, wooden grave. So we'll go ahead and give that to the rain courts there, and we'll see if they stick their own family member. There. So we can see that my laborers are building this, but like very slowly. It might be because we don't have enough wood. Yeah, here, let's go to the warehouse book. Let's go to trade. Let's find wood, and from the locals, let's buy like 100 wood to cover the price of these, or rather the resource cost of these bridges that I have them building. It's only 1 wood per thing, so we shouldn't need a full 100, but it looks like 10 isn't going to be enough. Oh, look at this. So these guys over here, these are the miners. Now, I am really tempted to accept them. I know I said in the last video not to, like, that I would be hesitant to accept any family from, like, the beginning of winter all the way to the end of winter, basically. I think that it's gonna be fine. I mean, I have enough food in my stockpile here that I could probably shell some out to the local economy without putting myself in danger, because I have plenty of normal meals. And actually, in fact, let's go ahead and do that real quick. So there is a little bit of like detailed resource management that you're gonna have to deal with in this game. Like, look at this. I have 80 meat. So let's stick with the local market. Let's sell until 50. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sell 30 of my meat, and any time that I have more than 50 meat, I'm gonna sell it into the local market. So I'm gonna sort of like provide a little bit of food for the locals if they start getting hungry, especially in the wintertime. Let's do the same with fish. I'm basically looking at anything over here that I have over 100 of. I'm going to sell until I have 50 of it left. especially because right now I'm not actually using any of this stuff, because I don't have a cook to actually make any of this stuff into meals. So I'm basically just stockpiling food at this point, and I still have plenty of normal meals to feed me and my like immediate servants. So I think it's gonna be just fine if we sell some of the stuff that we've been stockpiling a little bit. Oh, look at that! Look at all that corn. There it is, corn. Sell. In fact, we have so much. I'm gonna save 100 of that for myself because we just have just so much corn. Now, so we do, okay, so that's what I was saying. So I do think that it's okay to accept these miners. I actually feel pretty confident going into this winter that we're going to be able to survive it without too much of a food problem. So these 5 people recently lost a loved one. It's the remainder of this family over here. And everybody's just going to be cold all winter. My Demesne is always going to have a bad meal until we get our... I talked about in the last video about why they're not able to produce good meals. So this recently had a bad meal notification is just going to stay. Again, we can't do anything about the flu. Do they still want more money? Okay. Let's bump them up to 10. And family is low on money, the carpenters. So the carpenters may be low on money right now. So a quick and easy way is usually to check their chests is where they keep their money. They only have 62 copper. But theoretically, they should be getting paid by other families to do stuff. Let's check their... they're pretty low on food. 11 normal meals and a family of 5 will probably only last them like a day or two. And I'm gonna sort of let that play out. We're gonna see. Let's get back to what I want to do, which is accept these miners. Now there's only 3 of them, so it's not that big of a mining family. Let's show more here. Okay, so that just shows us our own families. I was hoping to get like a better description of like, well, here maybe we can. So we got they're the Warsi family. Let's go ahead and decide later real quick. Let's see if we can find them over here because they're going to be staying at the inn. Anybody who's... Here we go. So they are old, which means they're not going to be making any more children. I actually think that this mining family, only 3 people and 2 of them are old, the heads of the family. I think that we probably don't actually want them because we probably want a family that's just a little bit bigger and that's going to be like that we can expect to be expanding in the future. So let's go ahead and reject them, and we'll pump the time up and we'll keep it moving. Keep moving as quickly as possible. I realized that for the first 3 videos, I basically did 1 season per video, and this game is a pretty time-consuming game. But I think we can go a little faster than that. I'd like to. We're pushing the 20-minute mark on this video right now. And we're about halfway through winter, so I think we are moving a little more quickly through this season. And again, I think it's because winter is usually just a wait and hope nobody starts starving. But we will see. We'll see how far we can get. Ideally I would like to sort of keep this on a 4 speed, for the like just moving forward as much as possible, and we'll see if and see if we can't get through a few more seasons per video a little more quickly. Because I mean, at this rate, to get through, like even just 2 years of this game would be like an 8 video series where each video is like an hour long. And don't get me wrong, like that's the kind of content that I come to YouTube for. Like I love like seeing like video series like that. And so I guess I'm kind of hoping that that there are other people on YouTube who are insane like me and like watching somebody else play video games for hours and hours and hours. And then in turn we'll watch me play video games for hours and hours and hours. But I do think it's a little ridiculous to get through only 2 years of this game in like in basically 8 hours of playtime and 8 hours of video. So I'm gonna keep the time up a little bit while we build our little society here and hope that it helps. Now look at this. See, look at this guy right here. See, he just trapped himself in the walls because he's an idiot. This is pretty annoying sometimes. I really wish that that they wouldn't do this. And like, if you don't notice, oh, hold on. These are the tailors. Okay. So first, I want to finish talking about this real quick. If you don't notice that, like, they're going to trap themselves in the walls, they'll start starving over here eventually. And, like, that's another reason why it's important to keep an eye over here for, like, starving villagers, because sometimes they're, like, trapped in the walls. But I do wish that they were just a little smarter with their building queues. And I've even come in and, like, changed the priorities of the walls to try to control which order they build them in. And they still will get themselves trapped in the walls. They still don't do it perfectly in the order that I tell them to. So this is only a two-person family, which isn't ideal, but they are tailors, and we just need a tailor so desperately that I'm going to accept them, like, just outright without questions. So let's go ahead and give them, where do we want to put the tailors? Let's put the tailors over here. Now that we have the carpenters, basically every house is going to be like a nicer house. So I'm going to go ahead and put the tailors right there. Let's go ahead and give this house to them. Where are they? The Carterets, I think is how you would pronounce that. Carterets, perhaps? Carteret? I don't know. I don't speak French. And, okay, sad. It's going to take them just a little while to get themselves set up. Look at this. I already have a tailoring workshop pre-templated for them as well. So that's going to make things just a tad easier. Let's go ahead and stick that there. We're going to go ahead and give this to the Carterets. We're going to do our usual. And you know what else I want to do is I really want to get the clergy, like, start getting the clergy up and running. It looks like the carpenters haven't got started on this house yet, but the build orders are already paid for, and so I think it will be fine if we switch this over to the clergy. So in order to switch this to the clergy, all we're going to do, this is a household owned by no one right now. So with our regular villains, with our regular villain families, as you've seen we've been doing, we have to, like, assign them a household and assign them a zone to work in. With the clergy, they just automatically own all their clergy zones. It's kind of like the Demesne, where, like, I didn't have to assign the manor or the cottage or the barracks to my Demesne family, or the kitchens. They just automatically own, like, the zones that they would own. And the clergy are kind of like that. And so the clergy, instead of households, they live in quarters. So I'm just going to go ahead and rezone this household as a quarter. And now it's owned by the clergy. And in order to get ourselves some clergy, let's see. Okay, so this is a big butchering family. I'm hesitant to accept them, but they will. Ooh, hold on, somebody's starving. Hold on, let's decide on this later. Who's starving? So one of our foraging families over here is starving. The Russell family. Let's see. They have 7 people. And see, look at this. We're like about halfway through winter and already somebody's starving. That's not great. Well, they have plenty of money and plenty of food. So because look at that, because they're trapped back there. See, this is what I'm talking about when they get themselves stuck. And also, way back in video 1, when I was saying that I don't like putting things flesh up against barriers like a river like this is what I was talking about, is that these stupid villains will go get themselves stuck in stupid areas. They'll start starving, and then they'll worry me because I'll think, wow, my society must be running out of food. Look who's starving, when it turns out that they're just stuck. They're just stuck back there. Anyway, I put some destroy orders on these pieces right here. The family should take care of that as soon as they wake up, and free their family member over there. And let's see. So it looks like they actually did. Yeah, look at that. So we click on this grave. Gilchrist Raincourt. They did actually move their dead family member into the grave site. So at least they're laid to rest. Right there by the family farm. That being said, it looks like I waited too long and lost the opportunity for those bakers. Somebody else will show up. That's totally fine. I just need bodies to send to the clergy, really. And I think that wooden bridge. I don't know why you're complaining about that, because there's higher priority, like, buildings here. We do have some wood. Whatever. I really do, like, wish that. Okay, let's actually do this. Let's just, like, take a day and then just, like, see what my, like. Who are you? So here's one of my laborers working, like, through the night. Like, where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, they're filling up a campfire. So they finally did take care of all those trash piles. That's super nice. But like my laborers, like, what do you guys do all day that you're not like building? Like, just keep an eye on this guy here. Like, that you're not building these stinking bridges for me. Okay, so he must be the cook. Wait, no, what are you guys doing? You're not cooks. I guess they're making firewood? No, he's sleeping. Gosh. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what they're so preoccupied doing all day that they can't build the stuff. I guess really what that is it's just a sign that I need more laborers. So let's go ahead and this is a family size of 3. Let's just go ahead and accept them, and then we're just going to turn them straight into like laborers for me. We're not even going to give them any zones, and this is perfect because they don't have any children. Because you can't make children your servants. So let's make these two my servants, and then let's actually get our clergy started. So we're gonna go ahead and send John Dominique Milklewain here. We're gonna go ahead and send him to the clergy. So now he's going to go live up. Oh, you know what? That's why they're not building it yet, because the bridges aren't there yet. God, I'm so stupid. I don't know why. I don't know why I think I can get away with these things. But let's go ahead and just build just one line of it there. So when they're done with this, and we do need more wood, actually. So we're still buying 36 wood left from the local market. I think that we're probably not getting as much as we want to because these guys are prioritizing planks over wood. So let's take one of these families and let's just have them prioritize wood for a minute. That's going to be fine anyways, because all these wooden walls that we're going to start building for all the new houses that we're going to start constructing with the carpenters are going to require 1 wood to build. So instead of planks, it will be nice to have a little more wood just sort of flowing through our economy. And that's another bonus of having accepted 2 different foraging families, is we can have one focusing on planks and one focusing on wood, and hopefully we can flood our economy with enough of both of those resources that we'll never have to worry about having a shortage of either, even though as I'm looking at it right now, we have a shortage of both because I have neither wood nor planks to do any building with, which is just splendid. Okay, so back to the clergy. Can't afford construction. The Carterets. We're gonna ignore that for now. Who's starving? Okay, so so I was gonna say, so back to the clergy. So they're going. So the clergy, until we get a bishop, which I'll explain shortly. Until we get a bishop, the clergy still will not be accepting any taxes from any of our villain families. So as I'm sure you've noticed, every time I've set up like a resource production zone for one of our villain families, I've been setting it to 20% tax for me, 10% for the clergy. Well, now we have a clergy. Kind of. We have a clergy novice, and the novice can't accept the taxes. We need a bishop. So this guy, John Dominic Milklewain, since he's our first clergy member, he will become our bishop, but it's going to take him, I swear to God, like, mark my words, it's going to take him, like, more than a year to become the bishop. And until then, we're just going to have to give him resources to survive, because he won't be able to survive on his own. And also, I'm actually pretty concerned about this. Where the heck did all my money go? Why do I only have 1 gold? That's not good. But I'll give him 50 silver. I'll give him some food. And this is definitely a problem. Where did all my gold go? I'm concerned that something happened with all these trash piles over here. Maybe somebody just straight up stole it. Right, they've only got 1 gold in there. I might just have to like start taxing like the heck out of my villains. Look at that, they've got 12 gold. I'm just gonna like tax these guys. Like, they're gonna hate me for it, but I'm just for like 1 season. I'm gonna tax them like. No, actually, sorry. Fee farm, paid to you, paid to the clergy. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna tax them like 9 gold, just for like a season, and then so like once the season turns over, they'll pay me that, and then I'll go in and switch it. I'm basically just like stealing like most of their money, because the Desney, I'm the nobles, and they're peasants, they're villains, so they can cry about it. And I can do whatever the heck I want because they're serfs and I'm not. And that's just how the world works. And there's no reason to question it, and no reason to question why they have to pay 9 gold and everybody else gets to live in their house for free. And if they complain about it, they could take it up with my guards. You know, that's just how that's gonna have to go. You do have to be kind of careful because like they actually will do uprisings against you. I've never had that happen. I'm not sure like how well implemented that is into this game yet, but like it is a risk apparently. But like I've done this before where I've just like taxed the heck out of like one family because they're like rich and I just want all their money so I could do stuff with it, and it's never been a problem. We hopefully once we get like our household like sort of built up and running a little more effectively, we can get into like some of that stuff because there are like eventually you can have like an intelligence officer who will literally go and spy on your families and tell you who's like planning an uprising against you. But in order to have that, I think you have to have a master of laws first. Yeah. Oh. So way back in video 1, when I was like, hey, I want my royal family to be consisted of like my one ruler and 3 children. The reason I wanted that is because there are 3 important roles that you can assign to nobles. And because my children are nobles, they can be assigned to those roles. I don't think that the partner of your, like my ruler doesn't have a partner, because I don't think they can do anything but just be the partner. But so that's why I don't have them. But the children can be assigned to these important roles. So I'm going to go ahead and assign a master of coin, a master of law, and a master of affairs, one to each of my children. So now they're going to sit on my high council as these things. You can see here the bishop and the minister. Those will come from the clergy. They will sit on the high council as well. And then the marshal is sort of like the leader of like the military stuff, I guess. But until we sort of build up our military a little higher, we're not going to have a marshal. The clergy, like I said, is probably going to be a full year. And mark my words, we're almost at the end of the first winter by the time that we can get our first bishop. Now here, this is a tannery, I believe. Yeah, but we can't really support a tannery. Could we take them just to make into... I really do wish you could like see... I guess you really can. So like these are the Papone family. Let's go down to the inn real quick and see if we can find them. Because if they have kids, then like it makes it kind of hard to like accept them into let's see, adult, Papone, adult, Papone, adult, Papone, old. Okay, so I actually think Papone, adult. Okay, yeah. So actually, we can accept them, and I'm actually going to, and I'm gonna make them also like clergy and servants for me. And it is important to keep in mind that as our like household population goes up, we're gonna start needing a lot more food to support them like pretty quickly, because like they are eating from our kitchens, right? Like they are not getting their food from like the economy like everybody else. Like the taxes that get paid every season to us to support our family also supports them. So we have like this like nice little stock of laborers here. I think I'm gonna send one of them to the army. Oh wait. Hold on. First things first, we're gonna enlist the Papones. So I think we'll send 2 of them to the clergy. And then we'll make one more of them a servant, and then enlist the other 2 to the army. And the reason I'm going to enlist the other 2 to the army is because we already had an extra spot open for a day guard and an extra spot open for a night guard. So now those spots are filled. And you can see we have no recruits. If you're enlisting people to the army, you want to keep an eye on the recruits, because these are soldiers that don't fit in any other regiment. These are just like army people, just like waiting to be assigned something, but they're sitting around doing nothing as long as they're in the recruits category. And to assign them, all you need to do, like if I had a recruit here, I just go to the day guard and I up my limit of day guards, and they would just get auto assigned there. So now we have this. Now I do want to get 2 more military members pretty soon here, because I want to assign a marshal and I want to assign an executioner. And we don't really need an executioner yet, actually, but now that we do have, I usually wait until about I get the carpenters to build my jail. So here we go. So let's pop the jail over here. And again, I basically have a template for everything because like I've played this. But in a jail, all you really need is a jail chair and a jail bench. I am actually pretty proud of my jail. It'll take a while for them to get it built up, but you'll see what it looks like when it is. But we're also going to need. So I think I said we need 2 more military members. We actually need 3 more. Because we're also going to need at least a day jailer. We could probably skip the night jailer for now. Yeah. So I think minimum 3 more military members we want to keep our eyes out for. And now that we have the clergy going up here, we also want, very, very important, otherwise your clergy are never going to advance. The first thing that happens when you start developing a clergy is you want to give them a library. Because without a library, they will never, and I'll explain this in a second, but like the most important thing that happens when you have a clergy is you have these novices, right? And they need to study to become monks. And monks, like I just explained with the recruits for the military, monks are basically the same thing. They're clergy members who are not assigned to anything else. But the 2 most important that you need are the bishop and the minister. The bishop is like the leader of the clergy, and the minister is like his like right-hand man. And as you can see, like they're both going to sit on my high council as well. So like they are important roles that need to be filled. But in order to to change from a novice to a monk, these clergy members, they need to learn writing, consecration, and reading. And you can see that down here. All members of the clergy, they share stuff. So they need to learn reading, writing, and consecration. And in order to do this, they need a library. So if you don't give them a library, they will never learn that stuff, and they will never advance to become bishops and ministers, and then monks, and then all of the other like little like pieces of the clergy that like allow them to do stuff other than just like sit around and drain resources from your economy. So I cannot stress enough how important it is that as soon as you start assigning people to the clergy, library needs to happen almost right away. So we're going to give them some writing tables. There's 3 of them, so let's give them 3 writing tables. I'm probably going to try to give them a little more population, but like I said, we already need 3 more military members for our household. We probably need at least 2 cooks with like the population of our household at this point. So it's gonna be an uphill battle. Let's give them some bookcases. Let's give them some chests, and let's give them a roof. Yeah, I actually don't have a good template for a library, so I just build that by hand every time. But it's super simple, right? All you need are the writing tables, and then the bookcases. And also, if you also need to give the clergy, and you'll start the game with this stuff, but you need to give the clergy. You need to give the clergy paper stacks. So it says they want 40, so let's go ahead and give them 40. And you need to give them manuscripts, because those are the things that they will use to learn reading. Like they'll use the paper stacks to learn reading, and the manuscripts to learn like writing and consecration. And so without those things, they won't be able to do it. So I guess long story short, when you build a clergy, you need to give them at minimum a quarters to live in, a library with writing tables. Oh, and that's why I always wait for the carpenter to build the clergy, because the writing tables require a carpenter to build. So if you start getting your clergy up and running before you have a carpenter, they're never going to start learning reading and writing until they get these writing tables built by a carpenter. So that's why I always wait for the carpenters to start building up the clergy. But this is on its way, so we should be fine there. The clergy is probably going to like start starving every season because they're not collecting taxes, and there's 3 of them, and that's going to be annoying. But we're just gonna have to like deal with that as it comes, and that's fine. We can just send them like food and resources and stuff. You can see this is interesting. My people actually laid out the the dirt paths for my jail pretty darn quickly. In fact, they did it before they constructed this bridge. Probably. Oh no, they're not. They're not even out of wood. Well, it's tax payment day. They probably just got that wood. So I'll give them. I'll give them a pass, but I'm not happy about it. Now look at this. Oh, look at this. The clergy is already starving. The clergy is starving, and the day guards still want more pay. Hold on. All right, I'll up them to 15. I'll up them to 15. I'm not happy about it, but I'll up them to 15. Now the clergy is starving. Oh, okay. So we just did our taxes. Let's see. Okay, so they haven't paid us all the gold that we're supposed to get yet. We do have a little bit of gold, so let's go ahead and give the clergy like 2 gold, and just start giving like some of these other resources that they want, so they don't spend their own money on it. It'll just give them like and what I'm doing here is like if they want something, like I can mouse over and it says like selected family is looking for 2. I can see that I have 3, so I just like give them whatever like number they're looking for. Like usually if I don't have enough, I don't give it to them, because like why would I give them something when I don't even have enough of it myself? But like whatever, right? Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. Now, we have another opportunity to pick up some millers here, but again, we still don't have any rope. It doesn't look like we've picked up any rope from the caravans, and I'm pretty sure that we still have, like a buy order set from the caravans. Yeah, buy until limit, and we haven't bought a single thing of rope. So I don't think we're going to accept these millers, because we just can't build the windmill without any rope, and apparently we're not getting it from the caravans. So that's just gonna have to that's gonna have to fall by the wayside for now, until we can really get that up and running. Now the carpenters look like they're probably out of, and in fact they were low on money. Look at this, family is low on money. The carpenters, I doubt that they can buy the resources. So the way that works with the carpenters is like, let's say like the tailors over here have all these build orders, and they want the carpenters to do it, right? Because they're talking about like wooden walls, and like I think these like spinning wheels and looms all require tailoring and stuff. So if like actually let's check. So yeah, you can see the loom requires carpentry, and it costs 6 planks, right? So like let's say I place a loom down here. What's going to happen is somebody from this tailoring house is going to go to the carpenter's storefront, and they're gonna place an order for that loom, right? Now that loom costs 6 planks to build. I believe how it works is, if at the time of purchasing like the order, if this family has 6 planks, they will give it to the carpenter to build the loom. If this family does not have 6 planks, it is on the carpenter to acquire those planks and build the loom. And in fact, it might even say in here whether or not that's true. If the ordering family has required materials on sale, so the ordering family in this example would be the tailors, they will be used in the construction and receive a discount. Okay, so it'll be cheaper, and the tailor would give the carpenter their 6 planks. Offering them for free from your warehouse will only make the builders profit more, so make direct donations, it says. So it's suggesting that we make direct donations, which is actually what I'm about to do. I was just trying to explain how it normally works. So yeah, so normally if the tailors go over here, they want to build a loom, it's going to cost 6 planks. If they have the 6 planks, they're going to get a discount on the price of like the labor. They're going to give the 6 planks to the carpentry family. The carpentry family is going to use that 6 planks to build the loom. Now, I suspect that what actually happens is the carpenter is going to take those 6 planks, and they're going to add the loom into their build queue, and they're just going to burn those 6 planks on like whatever is next in the build queue. And I think that that's why we get ourselves in these situations where like some stuff gets built and some stuff doesn't. But either way, what I'm suspecting is going on here is the carpenters burned through all of their money buying like wood and resources and stuff to build all this stuff, and they're completely out of money, and any resources that they were given, they're also just out of. So like they're kind of gonna stagnate here, right? Unless people start placing more build orders and giving them more resources and money. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna come in here, And I'm just gonna give them, and I honestly I don't have that much. Like I basically have nothing to give them, which is a bit of a shame. But like, look at this. Like they want all this food, so like let's just like give them some stuff, just to like save them some money. Um, We'll give them the stone. Look at this. They want 169 wood. Oh, I can only give them one. I'll give them one. They want 286 planks. I can only give them 15. Like, it's basically nothing compared to what they need to construct all of this stuff that they have to construct. But it's something, right? And hopefully, like, there's like that little bit of help will like get them just a little closer to like building all the stuff that we need them to build. Now we are out of the winter time. We did make it through the winter without anybody starving, with the exception of like a few little like glitchy people here and there, and that is excellent. That's a really good sign that we have enough food like being produced in our economy. And look at this. Let's test this here. I'm gonna put this wooden wall on priority 1, and then well, actually this doesn't really matter here. Let's do hay walls. I'm going to put this hay wall on priority 1, and this one on priority 2. So they should build this one first, and then this one second. If they get stuck back here again, I swear I'm going to scream into this microphone, and it's going to hurt your ears. So, like, I'll warn you, but take your headphones. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we survived the winter, which I feel like means we did a pretty darn good job of pumping enough food into our economy over the previous 3 seasons that nobody was running out of food during the wintertime. And we also did a decent enough job of managing like the flow of money that nobody ran out of money and couldn't afford to buy food at any point. And you can even like click on, I generally click on the chests, but I mean, you could always go to the villager book and just like look at their inventory. But like all of our families have at least a couple gold in stock. Oh, wait, they don't. Maybe it's over here. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry, that's their market presence, show inventory. Oh, yeah, look at that. They have 12 gold. Yeah, they're fine. Maybe they're, I don't know where they're storing their gold. Oh, there's 3 there. It looks like beer barrels. It looks like they actually need more barrel rails. I sort of explained this in the first barrel rails. In the first video, but like this, so like there's, you can see there was trash piles on the floor over here, like beer barrels and stuff. But this family owns this zone and this zone, so they will just use storage in whatever zone. Like just because it's in one zone doesn't mean you can't like stick storage for it in another. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick some barrel rails right here, and maybe here. Yeah, just give them just a little, because you can see like that's 50 out of 50 kilograms there on the barrel rails with the meat and the wine. They're like, those barrel rails are full and they only have 2 sets. So let's give them 1, 2, 3 more sets. Maybe that'll help them out just a little bit to not have some trash piles laying around. And this is what I've talked about this, I think, in almost every video, where like if you spot a trash pile laying in somebody's like house, just take a look at what it is and just build like, so we okay, so it's beer barrels, so we can go over here and we can look at storage and we can be like, well, okay, this holds beer barrels, so we just need to place a barrel rail somewhere in a zone that they own, and they'll clean it up. They'll clean it up once they get that construction done. And there's no like penalty to like leaving trash piles laying around. I just personally don't like seeing it. Like, look at this, 2 firewood. Well, yeah, honestly these guys need a better house. Can I just overlay like my I do wonder if I can just overlay like a basic house small for them, like right there. I honestly think I can. Yeah. I don't usually do this because like I feel like it's risky, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it and see what happens. But that'll give them a better house. Because that house I built in the first video to like show like how you like literally like draw like walls and like what you need to stick in a house. I've been using templates every video since then, just because it takes too long, and like these videos would go on forever if I was like clicking around to like draw like every single one of these houses. I don't know if you noticed, I'm kind of ignoring a lot of these over here. They go away over time if you don't click on them. But like I know we can't support coin making. I think I'm not going over each one of these like every time, but like we can't support coin making because they need ingots, and in order to get ingots we need we need we need a furnace, and in order to have a furnace we need miners, and I spent too long talking to click over here and accept the last mining family that came through, and it was in the middle of winter anyways, even though I just accepted a bunch more families and like stuck them in my sort of royal household over here, my Demesne household. This is another carpentry family. We don't need 2 carpentry families right now. The one we have is already struggling to fulfill its build orders just because of like a resource like management situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and just decline them. Maybe when our population gets to be about like, I don't know, like 100. Maybe then we'll accept a second carpentry family, but even then, like, I feel like the carpentry family, you really only need 1, because like, sure, like when they first get here, they're going to have a lot to do because you want to start like building everything that requires requires carpentry that you couldn't do before, and also upgrading your structures. But like once all your existing structures get upgraded and the stuff that requires carpentry gets built, like they're just going to stand around doing nothing until you get like another family and they build like 1 house and that's it, like every so often. I feel like, and especially once we get the architects and you start building stone houses instead of wooden houses, I feel like the carpenters kind of end up sitting around doing a whole lot of nothing. So I'm really hesitant to accept a second carpentry family. I mean, I might do it. Like, this is a 5-pot family. Like, if a 7-pot family came in, or an 8-pot family, I might accept them just to have, like, more, like, manpower running around. Because if you think about it, like, if, like, whatever a 5-pot family can do, an 8-pot family can do, like, 60% more quickly, I think is how the math would work out, right? Because there'd be 3 more people, so like 3 out of 5 is like 60%. I don't actually know if that's how the algebra works out, but like either way, like they would be doing like stuff like a lot more quickly, right? They'd be building all this stuff more quickly, and right now it's honestly not even a manpower issue that my stuff is getting built. It's a resource management issue, right? Like there's just not enough like wood and stuff floating around my economy at the moment to like support all of the construction orders that I have. Like you can even see like they just don't have that, like got 29 in that pile, 3 in that pile, 9 planks in that pile. Like they just do not have like that many resources, probably because the demand is so high that they're selling everything directly into the economy. And in fact, I'm looking over here and I'm realizing that I didn't even give these guys a storefront in this zone. But again, that's what this area is for here, right? That's why we have this. Because if we forget to pop a storefront down in a zone, these folks can use this one. And in fact, when the day comes tomorrow, I'm going to keep an eye on this and make sure that somebody from here is using one of these storefronts to sell their wares, just to make sure that I'm right about the way that works. This is the leather workers. We can't accept them because the leather working chain is like hunting. Well, maybe not hunting, but at least butchery to tannery to leather working, and like that's, you know, you don't want to accept a family that's like 3 levels down the production chain, because it's just going to take them forever. I think it was the last video, maybe it was this one, we looked at we can't accept the jewel crafters. We're going to go ahead and reject them. Now, this farming family, we actually are going to go ahead and accept them because, like I said, almost always accept a farming family if you can. Let's take a look at these inaccessible structures here real quick. Why would that be inaccessible? Oh, I see. See, this is why I don't usually just like overlay a house on top of another, because you can see like this shelf is blocking this doorway, and this doorway leads into like a weird cooking table here. So we'll just demolish that. Maybe that'll solve the problem. Because it does look like other than that, everything is getting built. Okay, but so we do need to get this new farming family set up, and I think that this new farming family is going to be strictly a crop family. I think this is probably enough of an animal farm situation, and you can even see. Oh, and if you remember in that episode, I was talking about the wool. Look at that, we're already collecting too much wool. We already have trash piles of wool in our sheep family here. So let's go ahead. They're going to need like a stupid amount of chests to store all this wool. They honestly should just get their own warehouse for it, but we're just going to go ahead and just put like a bunch of chests here because I guarantee you they are going to use these chests over time. That wool is going to stockpile. It's going to be stupid. So it looks like, okay, so the fishers finally got their stuff done down here. Let's go ahead and build I have a little template here for a 3-person farm. I want to maybe stick it like there. Hold on, let's double check here real quick. So our new family, the Henrys, they're a 4-person farming family. So why don't we go ahead and give them a house like here, We'll do it like this, so their porch like sort of their porch area sort of like faces that way. You know, they can chat and like be friends and stuff. That I think that might be nice for them. And those were the Henrys, right? Hold on. Let me because look at it. I only have 3 money. Why do I only have 3 money? Didn't I change your taxes to make you pay me a lot of money? Well, either way, you have less, and I don't want to charge them 9 when they only have 9. Let's bump this down to 5 for this season, and we'll keep an eye on it when the season changes. I have a suspicion that if you change it during a season, it doesn't change until next season. I don't know. We're gonna have to we're just gonna have to keep an eye on like my money and their money as the season changes, and make sure that we don't like rob them blind, right? Okay, so this 4-person farming family here. Let's go ahead and get. I do have a 3-person farm template here. I guess maybe we can stick it like right here. Yeah. Okay, so let's do that, and then let's edit the zone like this. We'll just throw like an extra. I know this is like here's like this like 6x5. I know I said 6x6 in video 1. I used to build my farms 5x5, so these existing templates are structured 5x5. But it's not a hard and fast rule. I think that like they'll be able to work that much land, so we're just gonna go ahead and give them that much, and then I'm going to okay, so I did explain in video 1 like how building this orchard worked. We're 4 videos deeper now, so I'm just going to go over it again real quick. And I already do have a template for an orchard, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to stick this orchard right here. And so an important thing to keep in mind is that you want to keep any tree that you build 1 spot away from any farmland, because the trees will degrade soil quality to within 1 spot of themselves. So like if we look at soil quality over here, you could see that like the green, like this green stuff is good, but if you get like right next to this tree here, you can see that it starts to go down, right? So you can even see that here. See, like this tree, like in like this square around it, is the soil quality is just a little degraded. So when we're going to build our orchards here, we want to keep it 1 spot away from our farmland, because we don't want the trees affecting the soil quality in our farmland over there, because that's going to affect our yields in the end. It's like not a huge deal, it's just like a little optimization, but like we do want to keep stuff like that in mind. The other thing to do, always remember when you do build a farmland, is to go in and edit like the priorities. So this farm is only going to be for crops, so we're going to turn off everything that's not crop adjacent, like grains and rice grains are crop adjacent, but apples and butter are not. We're going to go to the soil. Like I said, I usually just knock this down to 10 and then never think about it again. You can play with that more if you want. I'm honestly too lazy to like try to like figure out like the mathematical details of like what would be like most like advantageous there. This seems to work for me, and I just leave it. Like if we take a look at like let's take a look at my oldest farm over here, right up here. Like you can see the soil quality is beginning to degrade a little bit, and I'm pretty sure I have that one set for 10. So maybe I'm doing it wrong like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it, and we're not gonna think about it. So back to here. Oh yeah, so every time you build a farm, you want to make sure to adjust the priorities based on what that farm is going to be producing. Animals, if you need them. Soil, like I said, in the early game, until we get our first miller, until we get rope, and then we can build a windmill. I'm only going to be out of the barley, rye, wheat, and oat. I'm only going to be activating oat because it produces more straw than grain, and we're still using straw to build a lot of our houses, even though we do have a carpenter now. So we do want that straw floating into our economy, but we really just don't need like the grain, like the higher grain yields from these other 3 plants. So that's why we're doing that. And I believe that's all we need to look at for that one. For the farmland over here, let's go to tree management. We'll make sure to enable both tree types. We don't need any of these enabled. We don't need butter or grain or cheese or rice. We only need apples and pears for this one. We don't need any animals. So this farmland should be fine. Oh, and I always forget to do this. Let's go ahead and assign it to the Henrys for our 2010 split. We're going to go ahead and assign this to the Henrys for our 2010 split. And yeah, that's looking pretty Good. So with that, we are coming up right up on the hour mark here. I was hoping to get through 2 seasons in an hour of this video. I don't know if you noticed, I definitely keep like slowing things down when I'm doing something. I think because like I want to try to explain what I'm doing, and I feel like if everything's like going so quickly in the background, I'm just gonna have to jump from one thing to another without like really being able to like stop, talk about this, and then move on to the next thing. Let me know in the comments if you would prefer that I do it a different way. Again, I'm hoping by this point that like somebody is watching these and will engage with me in the comments. If not, then I'm just talking. I'm just speaking into a microphone for no good reason whatsoever. But I'm gonna keep doing it until either I get bored of it or somebody hops in the comments and tells me to shut my stupid mouth. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll do another video. I'll do another video here shortly, and I hope I'm holding y'all's attention. Thanks a lot.